So we're gonna do a silly little comic today. I think it'll be fun. I don't know why I had this idea. I had it like last night at like 5 in the morning, and I was like, yeah, that's such a Josh thing to do. And so I immediately was like, I should just draw that. I'm gonna do it anyway. So and then something like that. Okay, so I have my thumbnail set up. Yay! All right, since it's now 9 o'clock, I will go ahead and swap over to the iPad. There we are. Is it just us right now? No, there's a few other people in here. Well, no, I think it's just us. No. Well, I don't know how to trust this anymore. I've learned not to trust it. But hello, everybody, and welcome to another art stream with Offline for Minecraft Josh Edition. Today, I'm going to be working on just a little comic idea that kind of is going to just flesh out some more things about the characters and their interactions and how they just work with each other. I was either going to be between this or some concept art that I was going to do, and this is technically its own kind of concept art, but I decided to go with this per my suggestion of my mods. And I'm using Narwhal, my new pencil brush. I kind of want it up in the corner though. Can I don't think I can do that. Can I like paste it if I use the reference? Why is it sideways? I'm confused. Why is it sideways? No, this is awful. Seriously though, why is it sideways? It doesn't think it's sideways here. Weird. That's just Procreate for you. Alright, so I'm probably going to put this in the bottom corner then, since I'm going to be making it a little tall. We'll just make it small, is what we'll do. So one of the things that I did with Josh is I wanted to make him seem like he could be, anybody. Like anybody could be him. And so I tried to make sure that he would have brown hair, because I think like brown and blonde is like, of course, here in the West, it's one of the most common ones, but you don't really get a lot of love for brunette characters. And one of the series that I used to read when I was younger was Yami no Matsue, Descendants of Darkness. And one thing that I think I've actually talked about this before, but one of the things that I really loved about that series was it was my first time experiencing where the good guy was in all dark colors and the bad guy was in all light colors. And I just loved that. I thought it was just so cool because I had never seen that done before, and it blew my little kid mind. So when making Josh, I kind of liked the idea of the main character from Yami no Matsue, Suzuki, having, dark brunette hair. And so I wanted to do the same thing with Josh. And that's part of the reason why Josh is a brunette. They're so cute. Ah, they're so cute. I love it because this is just such a Micah and Josh thing to happen. Like, don't get me wrong, something like this sort of kind of will happen. It's just, I wanted to do this mostly as just kind of a test for how their personalities are. I'll sometimes do little comics that aren't exactly canon, but aren't exactly not, to kind of represent how these characters would interact with each other. It just kind of helps me test how I imagine their personalities to be and if it's translating well. Oh, I need to add the stuff. It's short bursts, so in case you're not familiar with my type of comicking, I use visual automatopoeia instead of word automatopoeia for my comics. So how they look visually is kind of important because it's not necessarily words. Because how I developed this method was mainly because of whenever I would be reading I guess a Western comic would be the best way to put it, is that, let me see if I can find it real quick. Give me a second. So like here it is. So the reason why I developed this type of onomatopoeia is because whenever I would read like Western comics and they would put words to represent the sounds, like, you know, pow and bang and clank and, you know, stuff like that, it always like took away from the visuals for me and would kind of distract me. And I don't know, maybe I just get overly stimulated very, very easily, but it was very difficult for me to like understand the concept of the onomatopoeia at the same time that I was reading the comic, because it felt like the word art was more prevalent than the actual art itself. So what I did was I invented this some odd years ago. Well, I wouldn't say I invented it, but I started personally using this kind of thing a long time ago, where I started using these types of lines to represent types of sounds, because when you're reading a comic, you should be able to kind of tell what the sound is without really having to read it. So I made these kinds of line movements to represent that, so that people could see them and just feel the onomatopoeia and feel at it being appropriate to the scene rather than having to read it. Because I feel like, you know, my interpretation of like, you know, a metal pipe hitting the concrete is going to be very different from somebody else's. So like these lines allow me to interpret what that means. So here was like some examples of these lines coming together. You know, I have like a sharp noise that continues and then it bursts upward, very, very short and sharp. But then this bottom one, we have a sound that starts low, it goes up, it goes down, then it has short bursts that kind of drags out. And so that was kind of how I came up with that method. So you can see me kind of doing that here. And so from these right here, we can see that it's tiny short bursts. Either it could be like laughter or like kind of like, you know, that creaking noise when you see somebody like waving in a rope and it's like that kind of noise. That's kind of what that's being represented by. But I don't need to tell you that. You can look right at it and it should kind of let you fill in what you think that onomatopoeia means. Go, my boys, at least two of them. Third one's not in here, but I've been drawing him so much lately that I felt like I owed it to drawing more Micah and Josh stuff. I feel like I've been putting a lot of focus on Gavin lately, even though I know that's not technically true. I mean, they all kind of get their own share of, I don't know, screen time. I felt like these two needed a little bit more. The boys! Yeah, they're so cute. Josh is so cute. That is such a Josh face. Such a Josh face. All right, thank you so much for joining, everybody. I know I don't stream very much. I'm definitely trying to stream more. I know it might not seem like it, but I have so much stuff going on in the background that I just can't show yet, and eventually that won't be the case. But I appreciate you being here, and I hope I'll see you all next week. So thanks for stopping in. See y'all later.